Hey everyone, today I want to talk all about running safety. So, I just got off an amazing webinar with a series of women who are all part of the Runners Alliance. So, if you're not familiar with that, the Runners Alliance is an alliance that is really was really created to help the safety of runners. And so they do a lot of promotion and information and education all about how to run safely. So at the beginning of this webinar, they stated that 84% of women have experienced harassment while running. That is shocking. So if you're a woman runner and you've ever been out running and you've been catcalled or you've been the window's been rolled down and somebody's yelled at you, or maybe someone's followed you. All of that kind of is in that realm of harassment. And so, one of the people that was on this panel today was Kelly Heron. And if you're not familiar with her story, Kelly, a couple years ago, was training for her first marathon and went out for a 10-mile run and stopped at a park. It was the middle of the day, stopped at a park to use the restroom. And there was a level 3 sex offender in the restroom hiding out, and he attacked her. And she fought for 8 minutes for her life and survived and was able to get out of that situation, lock the assailant in the restroom. And what she did after that is she posted her GPS photo of the attack on her Instagram, and it went viral. And she now has forged an initiative called Not Today, because when she was fighting her assailant, she used her voice and said, "Not today, motherfucker," and screamed at him over and over again. And she had taken a self-defense course a couple weeks before that allowed her to save her life in the own situation. And so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to really discuss with you guys how to be safe while running as a woman runner, and really talk to you about some of the tips and tools that they shared in this webinar, because I thought it was way too fantastic to not share. So they talked a lot about using your voice. So if you are approached, or if you're in a situation where you feel like your gut is telling you something is off, listen to that. If someone is approaching you, use your voice. The universal symbol to create a boundary is hands up and saying stop. So you can use that symbol, that universal symbol, to show your assailant or potential assailant that you are setting a boundary, you are showing up strong, confident, and using your voice. You can even pretend as if you have like a friend that you're running with and say, "Hey, Dave, can you come here? I need your help." So almost using your voice to distract the assailant and to let them know that you are confident, you're sure, and that you are willing to fight for yourself. So they talked a lot about really protecting your worth and knowing that your assailant is looking for someone who is vulnerable, someone who is really, caught off guard. So the more you can be aware while you run, be aware of your surroundings, and use your voice, the better. So they talked about also really being conscious of creating choice for yourself. So as you're running, if you're seeing a situation that maybe looks a little iffy, or if you're seeing a person that looks a little iffy, being aware enough about your surroundings to create choice for yourself. So maybe that means turning around, going a different route. Maybe that means seeing the situation and saying, yeah, probably something about this seems off, so I'm going to maybe, walk and find a different way home. So just being aware to create that choice for yourself. One of the biggest tools that they shared, they had a self-defense teacher in this webinar, and she talked about the biggest tool that you can use if you are being attacked is using the bottom part of your palm and pushing up. So a lot of people don't know how to throw a proper punch and end up actually hurting themselves in the process and not doing the damage that they want to their assailant. So if you are ever attacked, use the bottom of your palm and push up into the face, into the chin, into the nose, wherever you can get that connection with the face. That's going to do more damage than using a punch unless you know how to throw a proper punch. So really using that bottom part of your hand, which is really, really strong and forceful to protect yourself. They also talked about not being polite. So a lot of times as women, we're kind of conditioned to be really polite in certain settings. Don't be polite. If you think something is wrong, if you think an assailant is around or someone just weird or creepy is around, do not be polite. Use your voice, use your words, tell them to get away from you, show that confident demeanor, and let them know that you are not going to handle what they're, attempting to do. One thing they talked about too is there was a man who had attended this webinar, and he said, how can I be an upstander, not a bystander? So if you are a woman or a man and you see something that's a little weird, let other runners know. So for instance, Kelly Herron shared a story where she heard someone say that he was running and he ran under a bridge and saw kind of this like creepy, person under the bridge. And he saw some woman coming into that area and he said, don't run that way. So just really staying aware, letting other runners know, being a good citizen. Also, if you're a man and you see a woman who maybe looks uncomfortable, maybe running beside them and saying, hey, are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do to help? So really being aware and helping your other, runners out in the setting. So they also talked about some of their favorite, tools to carry with them for runner safety and protection. So one of the things that they talked about were, I made a list here, were aftershock bone headphones. So if you've never seen those are headphones that go around your ear and set right in front of your ear. So they do not go in your ears. They set right in front of your ear, and they put sound into your ears without blocking the sound of everything else. So they create that ambient noise so that you can hear your surroundings, but you can also listen to music. So they're a great safety tool to use. A lot of headphones now have where you can turn on that ambient noise so you can hear your music and hear your surroundings. But just being aware to not have your headphones up really loud and to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your route. The other thing that they said was an app called Run Buddy, and it's a safety app where when you go out for a run, you can notify your friends or your loved ones about where you are, where you're going to be running, and they know then that you are on a run. And it also notifies them if you stopped for a certain amount of time. It will notify them. And there's also a panic button. So that's a really great tool. And it's only $10 a year. So it's a really affordable tool for safety. There's also, Road ID is a great thing to wear on a run where it has all your safety information. And they have a tracker as well. So there's a lot of other tools out there, but those were just some of the things that they shared. One of my personal favorites is a tool called Go Guarded. And they are a company that create items, personal safety items for you to wear while running. One of their most popular items is a ring that you wear that is covered by like a silicone covering, but if you push it into something, the silicone covering comes off, and it's like a dagger that you can use to puncture your assailant. So those are just some good tools that they suggested. But guys, I really, really encourage you to practice your safety while running. A lot of us think that it can never happen to us, but Kelly Herron is a great example, unfortunately, of, that it can happen to anyone. It can happen to you if you're in a busy city. It can happen to you if you're in a rural setting. It can happen to you if you're in a busy park. It can happen to you in the middle of the day. It doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be nighttime. It can really happen to you anytime in any place. And so be loud, use your voice, carry appropriate safety equipment, and let others know where you're running. And be safe out there. If you have any questions, comment on this video below, and I'd love to hear from you. Sending you much safety while you run, and let me know if you have questions. Talk to you soon, guys.